Hey there guys, I'm back to another video. Today I want to talk about something that probably not every collector does, but probably should. So as you may know, as fellow collectors, the longer you collect something, the more stuff you'll accumulate. So whether it's video games, comic books, movies, whatever, you'll eventually accumulate a big enough collection that it's hard to keep track of just based on memory. So today I'm going to show you how I keep track of my collection. It's all free as long as you have a Google account, which that is also free. I am going to be using Google Sheets, but you could also use Microsoft Excel. But personally, I just like Google Sheets a lot better, and you'll probably see why later in this video. So exactly why do you want to keep track of your collection? Well, simply put it, because you can't keep track of everything in your head, like just based on memory, like I said earlier. But also, when you go out to like conventions or just like a random store that you happen to come across, you'll see something that you may or may not have in your collection. So do you gamble on it and just buy a second copy potentially of that piece of media, whether it's a movie or a video game or a comic book? Or do you just play it safe and just look it up on your spreadsheet to see if you have it in your collection? So pretty much, in my opinion, spreadsheets are king when it comes to keeping track of your collection. I know there are like apps and stuff like that that'll like do this for you in terms of like a website or, you know, like an actual app on your phone. But most of those are, you know, you gotta pay for them, or like they have like a weird like interface or whatever. So personally, just to, you know, make it all personalized and how I want it, I'm just going to use Google Sheets, and that's why I like spreadsheets more. They are a lot more time consuming, I'm not gonna lie, because when you do it on like a website or a app, you know, everything is there for you. All you gotta do is just pick the titles and, you know, fill out certain things or whatever. But when it comes to Google Sheets, you gotta start from scratch. But personally, I like doing that because it's all me, it's all my personalized sort of way as to how I want it to be. So first up, I'm going to show you how I set up my Google Sheet documents and catalog a collection. And then I will show you a couple of examples that I've done over the past year or so in terms of like other collections and stuff like that. So let's just dive into how to go and get started as to, you know, starting up a Google spreadsheet. So first up, once you got your Google account all set up, you got to go to your Google Drive. And then once you're in your drive, you go to new, and then you click on Google Sheets. So once you got that, boom, bam, you got a Google Sheets document all set up, ready to go. So first thing that I like to do is just delete all of the columns from E to Z. So the reason I do this is because there are, oh god damn it, I messed it up. The reason I do this is because you don't need all of these columns here. You really don't. You need at least 4, maybe even like 2. Like you don't even need that much. You kind of just need to catalog your collection here. You're not doing anything fancy, but you can do stuff fancy. So like, for example, for me, I'm going to do title and then digital or physical. And what I mean by that is whether it's a digital game or a physical game. So as you can see, the text here bleeds into the column or the line here. So what I'm going to do is just make it a little bit bigger. But on top of that, you see that the text is all the way to the left. So what I'm going to do is just select the whole column and then bring it to the center. I'm going to hit this button and then just go put the text in the center. And I'm going to do that for all of them, just in case if I happen to use these last 4, or these last 2, I should say, columns over here. So pretty much this is all you need to go and keep track of your collection. To be honest, you don't even need C or D. But if you want, you could put like developer or publisher, developer, I can't spell, developer or publisher, or like the year that the game came out. You can do that, but personally I'm not going to, because you really don't need those things, but I will just leave those there for now. So I'm going to quickly catalog my Switch collection real quick. It's not that big of a stack here, but this is pretty much my entire Switch collection in terms of physical and digital games, so I'm going to do that real quick. Okay, so I just put all of the titles for pretty much every single one of my Switch games that I own, and as you can see, a lot of them are bleeding into the next box, so you just got to make it a little bit bigger, a little bit wider, in the columns here, and then once that is done and you can read all of the titles legibly, you can fill out the rest of the things here. Now obviously pretty much like these like last three are kind of like bonus sort of things. Like if you want to, you know, make sure that you're not buying you know, another game that you have digitally, I would definitely recommend putting it on a spreadsheet, because you don't want to buy it physically and be like, oh wait, I already own this game digitally, what am I doing, you know, sort of thing. So I'm going to do physical. And the reason why I like Google Sheets a lot is because you could delete the columns, delete the rows even. I don't know if you could do that in Excel. I don't think you can, but maybe I am just ignorant to Excel since the last time I've used it. But yeah, you could delete the columns as you saw earlier, but you could also delete the rows. So once you got one of the rows selected, hold Control on the second one and then just drag all the way down. So once you got all the way to the bottom, which is 1,000 rows, that is what the document starts at. Once you get to 1,000 rows, you can actually just delete the columns, or the rows I should say. So yeah, it is a pretty extensive document. So mine doesn't have 1,000 because I deleted one earlier, but once you do that, you just delete, and then boom bam, you got a nice spazzy little document. And then all the way at the bottom, you can add more rows if you need to. So like add one more row, add two more rows. But you could also just do it by right-clicking and then insert one above or below. You probably didn't see it there, but I'll just do it right here. Insert one below. Boom, there's another one right below there. But I will now delete that row because now I don't need it. So now you could just do physical versus digital. So I'm just going to do this real quick. Copy that text. Do it within this box. Don't do it over here. I think it like changes the font. Like the font in here is different from the one you have out here. So I'm just going to do that and then just paste it again and again. I could actually just do the arrows and just do that. Except for Mr. Shifty, because that one is actually digital. So one thing I like about Google Sheets, I'm pretty sure maybe Excel does this, but when you do like the same first letter of something or like something very similar to it above, it'll pretty much fill it in for you. So like as you can see, I did capital D, then it filled it in digital or physical, but I just need the digital part. So I'm just going to delete the rest of that real quick. Please don't fill it in. Okay. Then developer year, I'm not going to fill those out because that's stuff that I honestly don't really need. So after you're all set up and how you like it, you can alphabetize it, or you could, you know, do it by developer, do it by year or whatever. So pretty much that's how you set up your Google Sheets document to go and keep track of your collection. Obviously, my Switch collection isn't all that big, so I probably don't need to keep track of my Switch collection because I pretty much know what games I have and don't have. But if you have a much bigger collection, which I will get into real quick as a example, for example, I got my comic book collection here. And if you're a comic book collector, you know that you got a lot of issues, single issues, you got a lot of, you know, trade paperbacks and all this other stuff that you need to keep track of. So what you're looking at here is my want list in terms of like comic books that I want. And then here's my comic book collection actual like list here. So I got all of these single issues, got some of these trades of like the Sonic Archive series from the Sonic Archie, which I do separate them. I separate the Sonic Archie and then Sonic IDW. So I got all of the Sonic Archie stuff, Sonic Universe, Sonic Boom. And then the next one, I got my Mega Man Archie stuff, Ultimate Spider-Man, keep all this separate, Super Sons, and then the Sonic IDW stuff. So, and then here, I have a bunch of just like random series that I got in here. So all of the current stuff that I'm currently reading. So like, what's a good example? I am currently trying to follow, where is it? Fantastic Four 2018. And the reason I name it that, because it is the 2018 series of the Fantastic Four. I've never read a Fantastic Four book before, even with like Ultimate Fantastic Four here, volume number 1 or whatever. I have not read that because I just recently picked it up and I haven't gotten a chance to read it. But Fantastic Four 2018, I'm liking it so far. Cannot wait to read the 3rd issue. So that's a series I'm currently following. I don't need a separate document for that. I keep Super Sons separate because I love Super Sons. But for everything else, you know, it's all in here. And then the things that I want or need, I should say, for my collection. And then once I buy something, so this is like what I do personally. When I buy something, I highlight it in the document so I know that I recently bought it and I don't have to, you know, look out for it again. So like, let's say I buy something online and then I happen to walk into a a store like the next week or something like that, but the shipment's taken a little bit too long and I happen to forget that I bought it. Well, I won't buy a second copy because I already highlighted it in my need sheet here in the same Google Sheets document. So that is what I do when I buy something. And then once I have it, I just copy and then I paste it into the row where it fits accordingly. So, but yeah, that's pretty much how I organize my comics. So you can see like different examples. Also, when I'm separating certain things, so like as you can see, I have the Sonic the Hedgehog single issues here. Then I have the Sonic the Hedgehog archives here, which are like the trade paperbacks. I put a black bar in between those sections, which I probably should do with this switch one real quick. So let me just insert above, then I put a black bar. So you can see that this is sort of like, what they are. So this is the titles, digital, physical, developer here. If you want to go and add those in, you can. I don't. But yeah, so that's pretty much how I organize comic books. And then let's dive into Blu-rays. I'm not going to lie, the way I organize these Blu-rays is sort of like a cluster mess in a way. So I color-coded them by year, which I probably shouldn't have done because it looks really dumb and stupid. I am not going to lie. But, it is very colorful. And you can do it like this if you want. If you want to organize it by year, I probably should just organize it by name. So, like, instead of just having, this whole red thing, I should just put Disney's Frozen up top and then I put Pacific Rim somewhere in between or whatever, but I don't know why. I thought of doing it like this as it was a good idea, but I also have other tabs here. So I got Dragon Ball Z, I got some Dragon Ball Z Blu-rays in here, and then I got my want list of all of the Dragon Ball Z Blu-rays, and I have not updated this since like 2017. So keep that in mind, almost a year ago. So there's definitely a lot of things that I had bought in here that I probably should add to here, but I'm going to definitely just like revamp this entire document because it just looks hideous and horrid. But you can do it color coded if that is what you desire. You can, but I personally don't really like how it looks. And then last thing I'm going to show you guys is my pop collection. I actually do not own a lot of these anymore. I have sold pretty much most, if not all, of my pop collection. But I do have a couple of them still. So I got the Braum and Thresh ones from League of Legends still, but I sold pretty much almost everything else. So when it comes to Pops, there's multiple things that you need to consider when it comes to collecting Funko Pops. So you need to know whether the name of the Funko Pop itself, the line that it comes from, so like animation, games, Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, television, and then the series itself. So you got Dragon Ball Z, Avengers, Age of Ultron, Civil War, and then the number of that pop I think is very, very important. So I put that down as well. And then whether or not it is a exclusive, because Funko Pops are notorious for being exclusives. So gotta write that down. Got the Hot Topic exclusives, got the FYE, the GameStop, So, but yeah, and then if I wanted to, I could just make another sheet of like all of the Funko Pops I want with the, name, line, series, number, exclusive. So yeah, there are definitely multiple ways to set up your spreadsheets, but these are just some of them that I do for different collections. You don't have to set them all up the same way. I think that would be really dumb of you to do that, to be honest. But yeah, pretty much Google Sheets is a great way to keep track of your collection. And yeah, that is all I have for today. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys haven't already, you can subscribe. I put new videos up every single Saturday. Follow my social media accounts, Facebook and Twitter. I put updates on my future videos. And yeah, that is all I have for today. Once again, I'll see you guys next time with more videos. Game on, gamers.